every one of them will push the red button at the same time. The whole world will hate
So he's saying like there's going to be a nuclear holocaust all at the same time.
Israel.
Yeah, and they're going to target Israel. Why would the whole world have to target Israel with nuclear weapons? Only one country would have to target them with nuclear weapons. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there was a thing drawn up forever ago by the U.S. military of where the USSR would likely hit if they were to launch nukes at us. There's a guy who was responsible for hitting the button to launch nukes in the USSR, and that guy existed in the US also. Well, the guy in the USSR who's responsible for this, he was watching his radar, and if he saw a yield crossing over to Russia, he was supposed to hit the button and send a counter yield, mutually assured destruction. Well, that guy actually saw a blip. He saw a nuke going from the United States to Russia. And instead of hitting the button as he was instructed to do, he waited. Because it didn't make any sense that there would just be one. People don't realize this. I didn't realize this until recently. But in a nuclear attack, it wouldn't be one nuke dropped on the White House or on New York or on whatever. It would be either a 500 warhead yield or a 1,000 warhead yield, and they would hit a whole bunch of different places. The U.S. has a map of Russia for where we would hit Russia with 1,000 warhead yield also. Russia is probably targeting all of these places. Let me show you the map. It was a map published by FEMA showing potential U.S. nuclear targets in 2,000 and 500 warhead scenarios, apparently. Yeah. So this is the image. If we zoom in here, we'll see the legend or whatever. It says, the red stars are state capitals. The red squares are cities. The purple triangles are targets in a 500 warhead scenario. The black dots are targets in a 2,000 warhead scenario. So if Russia only had 500 warheads to launch at us for one reason or another, like I don't know why they would only have 500, but if they did, the purple triangles are all of the places that they would hit. And nuclear fallout would make the area completely uninhabitable. The 2,000 warhead yield, as you'll see, it targets all of these places heavily in Montana and North Dakota and stuff. The reason it hits that so heavily is because that's where the Minuteman missile sites are, I believe. But if you look here, there's nothing really like relevant in Wyoming outside of that, for example. So maybe you could survive in, I don't know, Boise, Idaho, or well, I guess you say in a, that would be, God, Boise would be hitting a 500 warhead yields. You could survive somewhere like on the border of Wyoming and Idaho, right? But if there was such a plan that happened, even this remote area that wasn't hit would receive, fallout and nuclear problems. The entire East Coast would be destroyed. Everything would be destroyed. All of it. So anyway, it's not happening because we have this same map of Russia and they know that we do. As a world leader, you shouldn't even joke about that shit. And Putin pulls it out constantly like it's, the ace in his back pocket. It really pisses me off that Putin does shit like that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So he's saying, Greg Locke here, he's saying that apparently every country in the world has a map drawn up of Israel of where they would launch their nuclear weapons, 500 warhead yields. Why would every country in the world have to do it all at once? That doesn't make any sense. One country could, they would all get together. They would denounce what happened, whatever it was that happened. Say Israel launched a nuke at every country, one single nuke. All of those countries would get together and they would all agree on who was going to launch the 500 warhead yield. And that's all it would take. It wouldn't even take that for Israel. It would take like a 10 warhead yield at most because it's so small. But anyway, that's not happening. He lives in a fantasy land if he believes that.
Will park their tanks. Every one of them will push the red button at the same time. The whole world.
That's just absurd. Him saying that shows me that he doesn't understand the first thing about this. He doesn't understand how this works, like, at all.
Hate Israel. You know why that's important? Because God already told him in Isaiah chapter 55, when it happens, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And there will be a supernatural sending forth of God's army of angels. That when Fox and CNN and Newsmax and all of the major networks and Twitter and everybody's Facebook feeds jammed up, they're surrounded, they're surrounded, they're surrounded. They can sit down and drink coffee and never shoot a missile.
Like, what the hell is he talking about? Is he saying that Israel is going to be hit with, like, nuclear warheads by every country in the world? And they're not going to, like, hit? I guess he's saying, right? They're not going to register, or they're not going to make it to Israel because God will protect them? I think that's what he's saying, right?
Because God will snap his fingers and annihilate every enemy they have.
Why is he so obsessed with Israel? Why is it not Christians that he's obsessed with? I don't get his, like, I know that part of the deal is Israel has to exist before the end can come. And I know that, you know, they have to have a third temple before any of that happens. So they have to tear down the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and that would probably be enough to really piss off the entire world. But beyond that point, why is Greg, like, rooting for Israel? I don't get it. It seems to me that, like, that's the end of their usefulness to him theologically.
Including Iran.
It's Iran.
God will nuke them all with the word of his mouth. So you can choose to stand with your fake oppressed Palestinian Twitter friends.
Fake oppressed Palestinian Twitter friends, okay?
And with Islamic terrorists that will cut your head off in 2 seconds flat. Get them stupid coexist bumper stickers off your car. Islam coexists with no one.
I wonder if he realizes that there are Christians in Palestine. Do you think he realizes that? Or do you think that he believes that, like, every single person in Palestine is Muslim? Either way, I don't know what Islam wants to do. Yeah, Islam's bad. I agree. Islam as a religion is destructive and damaging and not good. That being said, I want to help everybody. I want to save people for who I am. I wouldn't be okay with it if I, allowed somebody to suffer needlessly. I don't care what they would do for me. This isn't reciprocal. I'm altruistic on this subject. I want to help end suffering to the best of my ability, whatever it takes, just because that's the right thing to do. Yeah, Muslim extremists may cut my head off. That's true, maybe so. I don't want anyone to die in an ideal world. Of course, I'm okay with that scenario playing out. I'm okay with people dying if it means protecting others. I'm okay with self-defense. I'm just saying in an ideal world that, we wouldn't be faced with that scenario.
Butcherers. Clap or don't clap.
I choose don't clap.
I'm done with it. God wants us to make a decision in these end times. We can choose him or we can choose them, but we ain't choosing both.
We can choose God or we can choose Jews, but we're not choosing both. Is that what he's saying? I don't understand what he's saying.
So I'm going to spend the rest of my life preaching the gospel, reaching people, preparing an army for a war that's coming spiritually and in every other way. And if I find out that we got snatched out, you can rebuke me on the way up, but at least you'll be ready.
So I guess he doesn't think that this is a salvation dependent belief, because that's what he was saying earlier.
At least you'll be ready.
Jassa Proxy says, I will anti-clap. Right, exactly.
So I don't know, I can say a lot, pray a lot, cry a lot, sing a lot.
No, tell me about it. Yeah, he cries constantly. I know you can cry a lot.
I just can't go back to regular stuff.
Here we go again. Why is he crying? I'm the last guy to shame somebody for crying, okay? I don't care if you cry. In fact, I think people should cry more. I think they should let their feelings out more. But what's he crying over right now? I don't understand.
So I don't know, I can say a lot, pray a lot, cry a lot, sing a lot. I just can't go back to regular stuff. News media's lied to us.
The news media has lied to us?
Churches have lied to us. Seminaries have lied to us. Movies have lied to us.
Did he not start this out by saying, this is my personal opinion, I don't know if this is true? Isn't that exactly how this whole thing began? And now he's saying it matter-of-factly. They all lied to us. It's all fake. It's all pretend. The hell is happening?
And because of it, we have a 98% rate of Christians in America that don't care about anything but themselves.
I don't know what led him to that belief. I think Christians care about plenty of things.
And God says, when are you going to get it, church? When are you going to wise up? Dear God, how many bombs have to be dropped before you realize prophecy's being fulfilled? How many?
Oh my God, dude. Do you know how many years of peace we've had in the past 6,000 years? I looked it up recently. It was 264 or something, like 270 something. 200 something years. Under 300 years of peace in the past 6,000 years. The human race has been at war for 5,700 and something years out of the past 6,000. I mean, really think about that. That is nuts. So anyway, my point is, all of these signs that he believes are being fulfilled or whatever, this stuff's been happening all along. This is not unique. There's nothing special about what Greg is seeing unfold right now.
many treaties have to be signed before you figure it out? How many things do you have to see pop off the page before your very eyes on a weekly basis, if not daily, to recognize, wow, this is the truth?
What is the truth? That's my problem. What is the truth? And why do you believe that that is the truth? What specific thing? How do you know? Greg is convinced he has the truth, but has given me no reason whatsoever to believe him. None.